Hello, hello, hello. It is the afternoon on Tuesday. Tonight we are going to be going live with Deseere Cruz, who will be coming on to answer questions about parenting and how to co-parent with an ex. I know that that is something that is very difficult for a lot of people, and that is definitely not my expertise. I was lucky enough that I did not have children with either of my exes, so I was going to I wanted to ask an expert. Of course, I always want to have the most qualified person to answer questions. So Deseere is going to really be able to share some insight about co-parenting and healthy boundaries, how to keep them. I know in the private groups, there's a lot of questions all the time about how to co-parent, how to deal with someone who's not very good at following boundaries, someone who might not be the most easy person to parent with. And as a parent myself, I know how difficult it is to be a parent with someone that you're on the same page with, let alone someone who you're not on the same page with and actually had to get a divorce from. So Deseere is going to be an awesome person to share her insight with tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hi, Shelly. Hi, Lenora. Shelly and Lenora, since I have you on, do you have any questions for me? I figured I would start to answer whatever questions that you have about anything. This is your chance to ask me anything, and I will answer it live. So let me know what you're thinking, what's on your mind, what are questions that you have. Lenora, I just saw that you were interested in joining our group. Shelly is actually in the current group, so you're both watching, and that's kind of interesting that you're both on. So yeah, if you have any questions for me, please ask questions. It could be about the group, it could be about life in general, it could be about something mundane that's not related necessarily to relationships, but I am here to be of service and answer whatever questions that you have. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it tonight, but I was hoping to be able to come on with my husband, if not tonight, like much later tonight, something like 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But I would like to be able to come on and just answer some questions with him and kind of get the male perspective for some of the questions that people have. Because I know, you hear it from a female and then you say, is that really the way it is? Or, is she being overly simplistic in how these things work? So I'd like to be able to bring him on. He's a Reiki level 1 or level 3, I guess, because he's a master teacher. So it goes up. Reiki master teacher. He's been practicing for, let me think now, about 10 years. So he's been doing that for a long time. And what I think is really cool about Reiki, I'm Reiki level 2. What I think is really cool about Reiki is that I was actually told that I would need surgery for the bursitis on my left shoulder. And when my husband and I, before we were together, I actually was at a conference out in California, and I had been traveling and carrying all my bags. And I said to him, like, hey, my left shoulder is really bothering me. And he said, well, I'll send you some Reiki. He was in New York. I was in California. And I said, okay. And I was kind of like, yeah, I'll just, sure. Why don't you, if that makes you happy? It was like one of those things. And so he did it. He sent me some Reiki. And I wasn't able to lay down or anything because I was at a conference. And all of a sudden I was sitting there and I was like, my shoulder feels better. And it felt better. And then when I had my first child, my son, I was actually carrying him around a whole bunch, and my shoulder started to hurt just a little bit. And all of a sudden I asked for some Reiki and bam, it was gone. And actually I've had 0 issues with my shoulder. I'm now carrying around my newborn and have like literally zero issues. And I think that there's a big thing with inflammation for sure. There's a big thing with stress. The Reiki was just, I think, like the icing on the cake. But, if you've seen any of my lives before, or any time I've done videos and I've talked about health issues, when I was in my toxic relationships, I had back issues, I had Raynaud's, the tips of my fingers would go numb when it got cold. My thyroid was failing. My doctor actually wanted me to be on a thyroid medication. So like my whole body was, my back, I had a really bad back issue. It was another one of those things where the doctor was like, yeah, you're probably gonna need back surgery. And so like all of those things where it was gonna be back surgery, where it was gonna be medications, all of those things, I just turned 41 and none of those are issues for me anymore. They haven't been issues for me in about 4 years. So it's interesting, to say the least, that, you know, these things that we're told need to only be taken care of through getting surgery or medication or things like that. I really like to look at what is the base level of what's causing all of these issues and how can we fix it. Because for me, I mean, definitely my best friend has a plan called Smoothie Shred. I follow it mostly. I am not perfect still with my eating because there are some things that I still have incorporated in there, but my green smoothies, following a mostly plant-based diet, those definitely helped relieving the stress that was in my life, and really taking control of my life again. That was something that was really important to do. And then, you know, just really listening to my body and learning to, when my body said something, there was a reason for it. I mean, I had a blood clot when I was 36 years old, and, you know, I was out of commission for 2 weeks. I had a big reality check of like, wow, I could have died, you know. And so here, you know, again, 41 years old, 36, all these weird health issues were going on. And now I have zero, none of them at all. In fact, with my last pregnancy, my first child, I actually had a severe heart issue towards the end of the pregnancy. And then this past pregnancy, zero problems. So, you know, and just, I've slowly just really changed my activities, changed what I was doing, and all of that has been very, very helpful. So stress is definitely related to the body not being well. And I'm really hoping that for those of you who are interested in possibly training for the half marathon that I'm doing in April, I would love to have you around. I'm still in New York, and I am going to be running a half marathon in, let's see here. I'm going to be running a half marathon in Colorado. So I would love to have you around if you were interested in joining me. All right, I'm just checking to see here. I've got a few people asking me questions. I've actually got something really cool that I'm in the works for figuring out for all of you. Not only tonight are we going on live with Deseere, but I also have a planned live with Jordan. Jordan was a contributor in my book. He is a very interesting person. He is kind of living all over the place, married to his best friend. Really huge transformation. If you get to read my book, I forgot what chapter he's in. I think he's in the second part, where a few different people share their stories of coming out of codependent, unhealthy relationships. And he's definitely got quite a story. He is also a Reiki master teacher, is a yoga instructor, does all of these wonderful things to give back and help others. So that's going to be another really interesting Facebook Live that is going to be coming up soon. We don't have a date yet because he is 18 hours in the future from New York. So we just have to really figure out the timing when he is able to actually come on and do a Facebook Live with us. But that's going to be something to keep your eyes open for, because that's going to be coming at some point soon. All right. Whoever is on, make sure you say hello so I know that you are here. I know that it says that I have 2 people viewing, but, you know, again, it doesn't always tell me who it is. So make sure you say hello. So hello. Any questions anybody has for me? Oh, hi, Deseere. Any questions that anybody has? Deseere, for some reason, I don't know if the cross-posting was enabled on your end, but it doesn't seem to be that I'm able to get you on. If you can, Deseere, another thing you can do, as long as make sure you're on a cell phone, and make sure that your cell phone is sideways, but your, what was I going to say? What you should be seeing, Deseere, is on the bottom of the screen, 2 people on the bottom, and you should be able to just click on that, and you should be able to ask to come on the live broadcast. Anyone else who's watching, is there any questions that you have? Like I said, we're going on live at 9 p.m. with Deseere. I'll just read you a little bit of information about her and what she is doing. If I can find this post. By the way, as I'm looking for this, I actually had something really, really interesting happen to me yesterday. It seems like my Instagram account was hacked. And I don't know if anyone is an expert in Instagram or whatever. I really don't use it very often. I just hired actually a virtual assistant. But for some reason, all of a sudden my name was changed on my IG account. So if anyone is also on my Instagram and you're like, what the heck, who is this person? I don't know who they are, and I'm trying to figure out how to get myself back onto my account. So I might have to be getting off my Instagram. But if anyone has any insight on how to fix that, let me know. I'm going to be bringing on Deseere right this second, just approving. And again, this is your chance to ask questions, or even start to think about questions before we go out live for the full live tonight at 9 p.m. So it just takes a second to add. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be posting this video. So on the recorded version, you can ask questions them when on later on. Are you hearing a little? Is anyone who's watching of something off? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the angle here because I got my phone propped up and stuff, and it wanted me to. Yeah, so we're on. Yay, we figured it out. All right.
Awesome. So, anyone excited about what you're sharing?
So there's a little bit of a delay. I think you asked if I wanted to share anything exciting about what we're going to be talking about tonight. I mean, exciting is an interesting word when we're talking about our families and like what we're going to be doing, how to set those boundaries. I actually just got off of a really good coaching call with someone and talking about how to just set simple boundaries with people, and do things your own way, and actually stating them from, instead of saying, I don't want to do this and I'm complaining and like making it someone else's responsibility. We talked about how to like state things in the positive and state things from a place of desire so that it doesn't make them wrong. It just makes things right for you. And so and oftentimes when we get angry, we were talking about how oftentimes when we get angry, we're actually already past the point of violating our own boundaries. And that's why we're talking in an angry tone or someone can't hear us, is because we've already gone over what we would actually want in our lives. And so then they get the repercussions of our resentment for our own victimhood and actually violating our own boundaries. So that's something we're going to be talking about on the live later.
And I love it. I think that answers some of the about boundaries. Hopefully we can, because that is such a topic for our class. So excited myself for this day, but hopefully later. But any ask them here later and answer them. I'm at step 5. We're excited to see you come back at 9 in your time here to answer what you have. So later. Great night. Bye.